So if you clicked on this video, let me start by saying thank you. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Sean. If you're a subscriber, returning viewer, or commenter, thanks a lot. You guys are awesome. So what I got here to the left is a 1965 Ludwig Downbeat 12-14-20 rewrapped in black oyster pearl. The snare is a 2024 Ludwig Legacy Mahogany Jazz Fest in black oyster pearl. To the right is a 1966 Ludwig Club Date 12-14-20 in original black oyster pearl with the matching Pioneer snare. I got both of these off the marketplace. This one was a little funny. The seller was kind of sketchy. The ad popped up in the morning. He was asking $900 for the set. He mentioned in the ad that it was a rewrap, but it was really close, 5 minutes away, so I figured I'd go check it out anyways. Which even for a rewrap set, $900 isn't a bad deal. I just thought it was a cool set. So I asked him who did the rewrap on it, and he told me he had absolutely no idea who did the rewrap. So I get there, and he had the Jazz Fest with it. He wanted an extra $900 for the Jazz Fest, and that's pretty much, if not exactly, what they go for brand new. So I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted the set. So I negotiated a little bit. I ended up getting it for $850. And on my way home, a friend of mine contacted me. They saw that I posted a picture online of the set, and a flipper friend of mine contacted me and said, hey, that kid got that set from me, and he's the one that rewrapped it. And he showed me messages from the kid about the set and about rewrapping it. So I'm not quite sure why he wouldn't tell me that he was the one that rewrapped it, but he did. So he ended up having the edges redone by a company not far from here on the 12 and the 14. They did a really nice job on them. It's got all brand new heads on it. The wrap's new. He did a good job cleaning up the hardware. He had a good amount of money into this. I know my friend sold him the original set. It was Silver Sparkle. He sold him the set for $1,100. So then he bought the wrap. He bought all the new heads. He had the edges done on the 12 and 14. He had to have had about $1,600, $1,700 into this set. And he sold it for about half of that. So it was a good deal regardless. And it's got a couple little things that I'm going to have to tweak, and I'll show you those. So like I said, he did a pretty decent job on it. Everything's nice and clean. He refinished the hoops. It's a really cool little set. But there is mainly one issue, is he didn't glue the wrap. So see there, this is why I always glue the wrap. This is bum wrap too, by the way. It's decent looking. It's thinner than Delmar wrap, which I prefer to use, but this was already done, so I didn't really have a choice about that. But so what I'm gonna have to do is see the inlays even moving, and it's pretty tight. But what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna end up removing half the lugs, and I'm gonna glue the wrap myself. So I'll probably have to do new grommets. I'll take the badges off. And you can see the seams, which is maybe why he didn't want to tell me he did it. But the seams are just taped. Again, this is why I always glue my wrap. Even if I was to do bum wrap, the seam was pretty janky too. But that's not really a big deal. Like I said, I can undo half the lugs. That should keep the wrap in place. And why I glue one half. And then I'll stick that down and do the other side. But all the mufflers are in place. The insides are really clean. I think he repainted them, but they look really nice inside. And the person that did the edges did a really good job. There's a sticker in there that says the company, but They didn't pay me, so I'm not plugging them. No, just kidding. I don't know what the name of it is, and it's upside down, so it's not really that important. Um, but yeah, no, it's just a really cool little set. So he ended up had this jazz fest up for sale for probably like 3 weeks or a month, and he kept lowering the price and lowering the price, and he finally got down to under $400, and I ended up getting it for 380, which is a kind of weird number, but I mean, it's half of what they go for new, so that was a really good deal. I'm glad to have it. Happy to have it. So this will be a future video project of me re-gluing that wrap, but it's a really cool set. So now we'll move on to the other one. This one came from an estate sale. A buddy of mine had sent me the Facebook listing a couple weeks prior to the sale, so I was keeping an eye on it. And the night before the sale, they changed the ad to the sign-up sheet would be out there after like 5 o'clock. And I'd never heard of a sign-up sheet for an estate sale, which made me a little nervous. But I'm up early on the weekends, and the sale started at 9 o'clock. So I was up. I ended up leaving at like 6:30 a.m. And I got there. It took me about an hour to get there. Come to find out what the sign up sheet was for some reason, you put your name on this list and they give you a number, and that number correlates with when you get to go in. So if you're number 12, 11 people go in ahead of you. It turns out I was actually, I got there about 7:30 a.m. The sale didn't start till 9 a.m. I was like in front of the house by myself. There was nobody else there yet besides the people doing the sale. And I ended up talking to the estate sale people a little bit, and I asked them how this works, and they said, well, you're going to line up and you're the 15th person that comes in. I said, what if somebody, number 6 just buys the set? And they're like, well, you're out of luck. And I said, well, what if I go to buy the set and it turns into a little bit of a bidding war or something? And they didn't really have an answer for me. So I went back to my truck, an hour and a half early, sitting there waiting, checking everybody out as they start to arrive to see if they kind of looked like a drummer or had some stickers on their cars or anything like that, if drummers have a look. As it turns out, the guy that pulled in behind me was there to look at the set, but he wasn't really as serious about it. He just was killing some time and figured he'd go check it out. So they get us all to line up. And as I said, I was talking to the estate sale people, and they had told me the price on the set was $1,500, which didn't scare me. I mean, it's an original set with the snare. I just wanted to see it a little bit before I pulled the trigger. But as we lined up, I walked in the door and I said, I want to buy the drum set. Where's the other guy that's going to take the cash? So they pointed him out to me. We walked down. I just looked the set over really quick, and I bought it, $1,500. He said sold, took the price off of it, so there'd be no bidding war, anything like that. I didn't want to hesitate because I knew the guy behind me wasn't that serious, but it could have been another person, a couple people behind me said, oh, well, I'll do $1,600. I'll do $1,800. I didn't want any of that. So I just went in there on a mission and ended up getting it. And it's an absolutely beautiful set. I did end up cleaning the set, and I'll pop in some footage of what it looked like beforehand. I didn't film it. I just gave it a really good detailing. So I took the hoops off of it, hit it all with some crud cutter, and then went back over that with some novice. I think it's called Clean and Shine. So this is a completely original condition, just cleaned. I didn't really think it would be that interesting to see me clean drums, and I've done videos like that in the past. There was no work on this, no restoration, nothing like that, just a good cleaning. So this gentleman must have really treasured this set. Like I said, it was set up in their living room, and it hadn't been played in a long time. I could tell just by the way it was set up, and I don't even remember if there was a throne with it or not. Like I said, there was maybe like 5 cymbals, a couple old Zildjians, a newer Zildjian, which was weird. And the hi-hats were just like cheap Japanese hi-hats. But even even still, he barely played this thing. Um, those are his sticks and the original keys. And these things are like pencils, tiny sticks, and they're not even beat up. So he was really gentle with this set. The snare is just absolutely perfect condition, collector's grade. Um, the cowbell. The cowbell doesn't even have a stick mark on it, really. Original bass drum pedal. Now, somebody did change out these floor tom brackets. I took a washer off the inside and you could see the holes ovaled out just a little bit. But it was done a long time ago as it's got the nuts on it instead of the T handles. Probably a mod done in the 70s. The club date leg brackets aren't that great. And they can be a pain. So I could see somebody bringing it to a shop and saying, "Hey, could you update these for me?" And it's got Gretsch floor tom legs for some reason, but the wrap is just absolutely beautiful. Not a scratch in it. It it's really just a time capsule. It looks straight out of the catalog. I mean, the chrome is all gorgeous. The bass drum, I think, has a tiny bit of fade to it, just a little bit, but I think that layer of dust really protected it. There's no scratches in it whatsoever. Even the hoops are in great condition. Come to find out, when I was cleaning it, it was just a layer of dust, and obviously the lady was a smoker because it was dust and nicotine. But I mean, there's maybe a tiny bit of pitting, but really none. It's just an amazing set. I'm so happy to have it. I got really lucky getting it. I mean, I did get there an hour and a half early. Beautiful set. Looks like the tom head was swapped out at one time. It's got some original heads on it. And I love these stamps. You know, I guess I've seen some drum shops bringing that back, which I think is really cool. Um, so I'll uh, I'll bang on these a little bit for you guys. And if you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I really appreciate it. So these two sets are tuned completely different. The club date was tuned up higher like a jazz set when I got it. So I pretty much just put it back to that. And it's got older, worn heads on it. The Downbeat has brand new Ludwig medium heads on it. And it's tuned pretty much how I got it as well. I may have tweaked it just a little bit. They're the same exact shells. The only difference is the club date has the center lugs and the Downbeat has individual lugs.